Welcome back to Shifted. Today we're working on Steve's 71 Plymouth Satellite 4-door, also known as the Enforcer. The rear end has exploded. Steve, what's happening?
Well, I mean, it just went out, decided to say goodbye, the differential quit working, and the thing needed to be rebuilt anyways. The bearings are making noise, so...
Yeah. And we were driving it pretty hard and thrashing on it.
I've got all new parts to make this thing as good as new. All we have to do is put them in.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I'll be your extra set of hands and your camera guy. And this thing is just gonna get better and better.
It always does.
Steve's got this fancy little seal and bearing puller. It's actually just a slide hammer, but I've never seen one like this. It's got a little screw attachment here, so when you put it in, it actually will open everything up, so you're not fighting it or trying to have to put rubber bands on the back side of this or something. So we're just gonna give this a shot. It's got a little groove inside this threaded cup, so it actually grabs the outside of these arms and pulls them down. And I missed one. Okay. Just a couple more taps. Should be able to pull the bearing and the seal all out at one time. Oh, I see movement. She's about to come out. See? Oh yeah. All right, well that's simple. That came out no problem. I'm gonna go do the other side and hopefully I have just the same luck. So here's the old bearing. Doesn't actually look too bad from the driver's side. Not too much wear marks or anything on the rollers themselves. But you can hear it when you spin it, it's full of sand. So you could possibly clean it and reuse it, but I think if we got new ones, might as well just put new ones in. Here you go, sir.
Thank you, Wiley.
No problem.
Yeah, they were growling, but they don't really look bad. The thing about these bearings is they're a straight roller bearing, as opposed to a taper roller bearing like you find in other kinds of differentials. So the bearings actually don't have a race. They ride directly on the axle shaft. So the axle shaft could be worn out too. We'll get that in inspection when we get to it. And turns out the auto parts database on the seals is wrong, so Wiley did a little bit of library work and figured out the right part number. And these fit the housing just perfectly. So all ready for that to go in, but before we replace all that stuff, we're going to tear into the differential. This differential, along with a lot of other ones, it uses spanner adjusters to set the bearing preload and the backlash. And these little bolts right here hold the locks. So I'll take those out first. Uno. That's number 2. And if you look inside here, you can see there's nothing in there. That's where the normal side and spider gears go, but that was removed when the power tracks was put in. It replaces all of that, and you put different guts in it. And unfortunately, it didn't last very long, so I'm changing out the whole differential this time. It's going to be pretty easy. Just 4 bolts on the main cap, just kind of like a engine block where the crankshaft bolts in. Question is, will this have enough grunt to take these off? One. Ow. And out she comes. I'm going to take this ring gear off, and got a note to viewers. The fasteners that hold ring gear to the carrier are left-hand threads on most differentials. Don't try to turn them the wrong way. And really, if you're going by the book, you're supposed to replace them with new ones. The ring gear is held onto the carrier by 10 bolts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're left-hand threads, so be aware of that, or you're going to be impacting them the wrong way, and they'll just seem like they're too tight to come out. And the other thing is, if you're doing it exactly by the book, you're supposed to replace all those ring gear bolts when you're taking it on and off. You're not supposed to reuse them, but yeah. Oh, a little spring left over from the power tracks, and all of that just went sproing, and it was just complete destruction. You want to have everything super clean, and use your safety solvent, or you can get the cheaper solvent. I get mine at the pump, and it's a bargain. You got to be careful. It was pretty much par for the course back in the World War II days for cleaning parts on aircraft, jeeps, trucks, and every piece of equipment they had in the field. So it's good enough for those hardy combat vets. The few that are left, it's good enough for me. Oh boy, this is gonna be good. Sit down, Cat. Ruffle. There's a huge kiwi plantation just down the road. What I have sitting here is a brand new Yukon Gear Duragrip, and that's their limited slip differential. It's kind of very similar to what muscle cars would have come with back in the day. It's a clutch type posi, but it's pretty beefy. It's got a really nice case. I think that this unit's gonna do the job that I want. I don't need a locker in this car. It's a street driver, but it's gonna give me the two-wheel peel in like hooning around on the street. So that's going to be perfect. And the reason I ended up fixing the 8 1/4 in the first place was after a lot of consideration. I was thinking maybe I'll just put an 8 3/4. I've got a lot of parts for those, and the gear swaps are way easier. It's a beefier unit, there's no doubt. But digging back into my memory, I just recalled 8 1/4 has never really let me down, and I've had them in a lot of high performance street cars, so I was probably okay with the durability factor. The gear change part, you know, it's a street car. It's got a 3-speed automatic. I need freeway gears. I like flying miles, and you've got to have a tall ratio. I'm not going to be pulling gears in and out of it and going drag. It's not a drag car. It's a street car. So the Duragrip's going to take care of the problem. The 8 1/4 is going to do everything that I need in this vehicle. So I'm just going to press these brand new Timken bearings on, and it'll be ready to drop in, adjust, and install. So it's not going to take that long. One thing you don't want to do is put that bearing on upside down. So once you press it home, it's going to stay. Should I move it this way a little bit? There it goes. Once it starts, you're home free. You want to make sure that the anvil on the hydraulic press is dead center on the bearing, and you want to make sure that it starts straight. And once it gets going, you're usually home free. So this is going to stop right there. With the flat plate on top of the bearing, it only pressed down to within 1/8 of an inch of the bottom. So I've got a socket rigged here. I already checked to make sure it had the internal clearance, not to catch the carrier, and it's also not pressing on the cage of the bearing, which can be damaged very easily. So it looks low tech, but actually it's good. All right, that's completely home. Okay, it's the other side, and same thing all over. I'm gonna That's all of it. Well, the bearing pressing on went well. There was no problemo there. There'll be a problemo if I drop that thing on my phone.
This is the carrier adjuster for the rear end, and this sets your backlash and your preload. And to get this thing on and off, you need a spanner wrench that's got like 2 holes in it, which Steve has right here. But this is for an 8 3/4, which unfortunately is too big for this guy. So what I'm gonna do is use this as a template, and on the back side of this, put it on here and just mark 2 holes exactly where they are. Drill those out, and I'm gonna copy what he did on this side, which is just using a couple of bolts, putting them through, welding on the back side, and it looks like he had to grind down some of the sides of the bolt as well to make it fit, but should be pretty simple. And then this thing will be a 2-sided double action spanner. That's not too bad. Check it out.
What's left here is taking the ring gear off the old differential carrier and plopping it right on there. It should just go right on, but I might have to heat it up a little bit. I'm not sure. Remember, left-hand threads. Sometimes they come off super easy, and sometimes the ring gear just practically falls off, and sometimes you got to tap it a little bit. I ran the screws in slightly, and I'm going to just tap on those. And that's no joke about the safety solvent, because when I was in high school, I was cleaning something in a bucket of gasoline with a drill, and kablooey. Learned my lesson the hard way on that one. So now I always use safety solvent. Full frame. Okay, that's good. Okay, now we see if we get the drop. I'm gonna kind of line it up and then start a bolt or two. It's 55. The ring gear bolts are supposed to be 55 foot-pounds. You're not going to do that while hanging onto it on a bench. So I chucked it in the vise, and since they're left-hand thread, a lot of torque wrenches don't work in reverse, but this good old beam type does the job. And I oil up the bearings. I'm going to put all this center section back together, the carrier in the ring gear, and Wiley's spanner tool is just beautiful, except it's not going to fit because there's very limited space here. I didn't account for that when we talked about it. So he's going to go modify it and make it work perfectly, fingers crossed, and by then we'll probably be ready for adjusting the preload and backlash. Hey Wiley,
Yo.
can you give me a 3/4 on a ratchet?
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks,
Here, sir. Oh, she's in.
Getting there.
Close. All right, I'm gonna go make some chops on my new tool. Sorry about your handle as well. One side's gonna be ugly.
I don't care.
I'll make it pretty. Pretty ugly.
That's all I can ask. Hey Wiley,
Hey.
this is going to be a two-manner.
Oh, you need help?
Yeah,
Okay, coming.
it's just you can't hold it, and like all these pieces are pretty finicky. You know, try to get them all to go in place.
At the same time.
Yeah, so I got to get this.
All right. What do you need?
Just first thing I do is fish this out.
You all grease up or something?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Now,
What's up?
push that race. Okay, that's in, I think, right there. It
That
feels
feels
square.
good.
Okay. Let me get this started in there.
Yep, I'm holding it.
I want to make sure I got the right cap.
Do you like to put Loctite on these?
No.
On the cat bolts?
No,
Not a
I
big
lube-
Loctite guy, huh?
no,
You just like torque.
that's right.
That's right, son. Oh, you good, huh?
I think so.
All right, dude.
Thanks, Wiley.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nice
That-
work, dude. That's
that-
in.
That's a handful in the car. Actually, this is way easier with the rear end out. Then you have it like nose down. and then everything kind of gravity holds in place.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, you just kind of like aim that thing down like it naturally would want to go.
Yeah, see how much you moved? Because like that.
Yeah, pushing it up against
That's
it.
got to wind in a bunch.
So we got to use my special tool, which I need to go make.
Yes.
All right, I'll be back.
See, you can push that all the way against there. I needed some help to get this thing in position. I mean, it's a little tough by yourself when it's not on the ground with the rear end out and facing downward. But with two guys and a little cooperation, got the caps on. It needs all the adjustment, but that shouldn't be too bad as long as we get the special tool. Lacking that, we're going to have to do this using hammers and punches. That's not the way you want to do it. Okay, so we've got about almost nothing right now.
What's that?
Right now it's almost no backlash.
Oh, so too tight.
Yeah, but that's what you want before you crank on the bearing. You want to take all the backlash out of it. So basically,
Check that thing. It fits the back now.
if you tighten this one, it's going to move the ring gear away from the pinion.
Give you
More backlash.
more backlash.
And
that's
more,
what we need.
and more preload at the same time. You know what I mean?
Because it's adding pressure to both sides of the bearings.
Yeah.
But it's pushing it away from the ring gear.
Let's see where we're at on if that opened it up any.
Let's see this thing. Oh, we twisted this.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
That's not quite a bit of an angle, but let's see.
10.
10. Okay. Not quite 10, but
The 8, 9.
Yeah.
Knock it in place here.
Yeah. Okay, knock this one tight too.
That's dead stop.
Okay. Let's put the locks on it and then we'll do the axle shaft.
It's like 9, 10 right there, yeah.
This is about perfect, right?
It's almost perfect.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Man, I don't like hammering those things in.
No.
I wish that tool would have worked longer.
Yeah, like,
It's too thin to get in between here, though.
yeah. That was my bad.
No, it's all good. At least we made it work.
Yeah.
Regardless, it worked.
Well, it worked to get us pretty close, and then we did the final ramrod with the other thing, the jigger.
Nice.
You got to torque the main cabs. Can't forget that.
And it's nice. These axles just slide in.
Yeah.
C-clips.
What are you working on, Wiley?
Oh, well, I just realized you've got these trash cans, and look at the feature that's built into this.
Oh!
You just slide your axle right in, and then you've got this floating work area, and you can clean your parts right over the trash can.
Perfection.
So, pretty good. So just getting this axle cleaned up real quick.
Yeah.
Got the shaft good. Splines are looking pretty decent here. Just pretty much cosmetic work at this point. So I've got these pretty much all the way cleaned up. I'm just gonna throw a little bit of wheel bearing grease, or just the extreme red grease right here on the splines themselves before sliding it back in. And then we'll get those axle bearings in there. Slap these guys in, put the C-clips on. Pretty much buttoning things up. My little tool didn't work out, but you know, we were able to get it tight anyway, so that's all that matters, right?
Well, I got these new axle shaft bearings, and I think I mentioned before they're just straight roller bearings, and they hammer right into the end of the housing, so really easy to change and install. I think they may be made offshore. I'm not sure on that. This is an appropriately sized driving tool and a big hammer. That sounds like it's home.
Now, how can you tell it's home, Steve?
Well, when you're hammering something in, be it a wheel bearing or maybe something else, once the tone changes, you know you're done. So I think the tone changed. I was doing a really awkward kind of swing. I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of gusto. Oh yeah, that wasn't in all the way, but you heard it that time for sure. Either that or I drove it in too far with a gigantic sledgehammer and socket. I think we're good. The axle shaft bearings are actually oil lubricated by splash out of the differential fluid, but a little bit of grease on install is a good idea. Just don't want to put them in dry. The key is starting to seal in straight and then keeping it straight. That's looking pretty good. I'm using this metal lip right here and I'm offsetting my socket a little bit and hitting those sides until they come in. Did you hear that? That ringing, that means it's there. Perfectly flush now. Okay, well that's not bad.
That's super good.
Ooh, man, the C-clips, I'm just scared of the C-clips.
Oh, it's gonna be nothing.
Oh, good.
Here, I'm
I
gonna
like the sound of that.
slide an axle in. How about that?
Okay.
Because you could do one side.
Well, you got to get the center pin out first.
I already did.
Oh, you did? Whoa!
What do you think I've been doing over here?
Man, Wiley, that's great. Oh, it just goes right in.
I think this is super easy.
Oh, really? I did get worried. I was like, oh man, that would be a real bummer.
Yeah, could you imagine? You gotta wait a week for more parts.
Yeah, that would be a disaster.
All right, I got one C-clip in,
Oh, nice.
and I'm going to pull that axle out.
I think that's in. Let's see, that's good.
Ah, this axle. I feel like King Arthur pulling the sword out of the stone, except for I get to put the sword into the stone. And hopefully it stays there. Oh, that's a perfect fit. I'm gonna put the C-clip in, and that should be it. Okay. All right, after Steve got the whole center section back in and all set up, we had to take the center pin out to get to the C-clips. It has a detent bolt that holds this thing in. You take that out, pin comes out relatively easily, and then we just put the axle seals and bearings in, greased up the ends of the shafts of the axles themselves, slid everything together, and now I'm gonna try and fish the C-clips in there, push them back apart, and then you slide the pin back into the center, which actually holds the axles outward from each other. And that's all that it is.
Are you done?
Oh, that was easy, buddy. Now all we really got to do is put this pin back in. So you got to rotate this drive shaft to where your hole lines back up, but this is the side with the detent bolt, so I'm just going to check my pin. There's that detent hole. Little tap.
Hammer.
Just going to give it a little bonk.
There
It
it is. There you go.
And you want to make sure that your holes are lined up for your little pin here before you push this all the way in. And my improvised hammer here is kind of like a dead blow in a sense. But that actually just went all the way in. There we go. Okay. You still need to torque the whole thing. But everything's in. So, final torque and tighten down. Put the cover on. Fill this thing up with juice. We should be done. Oh yeah, wheels and tires and torque those.
So they don't fall off.
Yeah, you know, it helps. It helps. All right, Steve, torque wrench.
Flying in.
Flying in.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
Click, click. Click, click. She's torqued to 75. I just want to give this
Housing?
case, housing just a little final. How's your father?
Yeah.
Give it a little wipe down. It's the right seal even.
That's the one that came off it.
No way.
Yeah.
It's this good still?
Yeah. Freiberger said they were reusable.
This looks like brand new.
I know.
That's kind of a trip.
Oh, wow. That went on pretty good.
You got my bolts right here. Nice. All right, so this guy goes in there just like that. All right, cover and gasket going on. Feels good. One small step for man. One giant step for the enforcer. You know?
Yeah.
This thing is pretty sweet now, buddy.
I know.
It's got a posi now.
Well, it had the locker that didn't lock.
Yeah, well, that's not really a posi, is it?
No.
This is going to be so sweet now that we can actually do a real two-tire fire.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
The Yukon. We got the rear end all put together last night. The hardest part was putting in the differential, which is the carrier for the ring gear. That got new bearings. We put in new bearings for the axle shafts and new seals, slapped it all back in. I think it's going to be good. Wiley's just topping it up with a little gear oil, and then we're going to get a chance to try it out. You guys might be wondering on what the tire and wheel combo is, and it's really simple. These are reproduction police wheels. They've got these cooling slots built into the spider section. They're 15 by 8s, and then the old standby Cooper Cobra. It's kind of like our favorite 15-inch tire for a muscle car, and they are 255, 60, 15 all the way around. Handles really good, and I think it'll probably do pretty good burnouts.
It's nice getting out here and already being done, huh?
Yeah.
I'm ready to take this thing for a ride.
Wow.
And she's back.
That's the first time in a long time this thing's been on the ground.
Yeah, it's good to see it.
Yeah.
Well, let's torque the wheels. How about it?
I think that's probably a good idea. You've got me convinced on torquing
torque
the
wrench?
wheels. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good protocol.
Yeah.
I've just grown so accustomed to the click.
Oh, I thought that beam type might be growing on you now.
It really is. It's kind of nice. It's so smooth,
Yeah.
and you get to really just set it exactly the pressure you want. You know when you're sneaking up on it.
Yeah.
With the click type, I feel like you could just blow right past that number, and it clicks, but if you push past the click, you're still just over torquing it.
Yeah.
So you never know. But with this thing, you get to look and just watch it slowly get to that number, and you're like, all right, that is definitely torqued. Okay, that's it.
Other than that,
We're all torqued up, buddy. Moment of truth.
oh, I know. Finally get to try this thing out. It's been on jacks for a couple of months now, I think.
I know. I hate seeing cars up on jack stands.
It's been blocking my whole driveway too.
Yeah. For
Cold
prolonged
start.
periods
How
of
do you
time.
like that cold start?
That fired right up.
Yeah. Well, it's moving.
It's rolling.
I don't hear any chunk.
Nothing yet. I don't hear anything at all.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I just hear raw 318 power.
Oh, yeah. I need to put tailpipes in this thing.
Yeah. Sounds good. Man, your AC just blows ice cold.
Yeah.
You gotta help me set up the AC in my satellite,
Yeah.
man.
Well,
I'd really appreciate it.
It didn't come that way. I fixed it up.
I think we did it perfectly. That might be a perfect install.
Yeah, it's good. They got rid of the axle shaft noise that it had before, too.
Yeah. Well, you don't hear any whining, so we got the backlash, right?
I think it's pretty good, yeah.
Well, this is the second time we got this car back on the road for you, but it feels good every time.
Yeah, I like driving it around because it's super comfortable.
It's really comfortable.
I think it gets way better fuel economy than the Durango. You want to give it a try? Might be a good spot right here. Let me give it a little bit of a try.
We might as well test it.
Yeah. I got first gear.
Let's test her out.
What did it do? It shifted?
I think you shifted to second.
It shifted itself.
You
Oh,
want to
well.
try? Is that probably it, you think?
I think that might be it.
Okay.
I don't want to kill the car.
Yeah, I don't want to kill the car either.